Welcome to Soul Path Alchemy, the place where we talk about the things most people avoid: sex, relationships, grief, desire, betrayal, healing, and everything in between. It's honest, it's unsanitized, and if it's what you've been craving, you're in the right place. I'm Annie O'Brien, psychotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist, and if you need more info, it's all in the bio. Let's begin. Heads up, this podcast isn't therapy. It's bold, blunt, and irreverent, but it's not a substitute for professional help. Full disclaimer is in the blurb below. Okay, in today's Freud Made Me Do It, we're covering projection, one of the juiciest defense mechanisms in the psychological toolbox. It's how you mistake your unresolved baggage for someone else's personality. And again, here's the point: if you can name it, you can notice it. And when you notice it, guess what? You get to choose something different. Awareness isn't just sexy, it's the birthplace of change. So let's turn the unconscious nonsense into conscious power. So that's not me, that's your shit is essentially projection. If someone tells you who you are and it sounds suspiciously like their unfinished childhood, you've met it. That's projection. So first defined by Sigmund Freud, the OG himself, and later expanded by Anna and the post-Freudians, projection is one of the oldest, most primitive defense mechanisms we have. And it kicks in during the oral to anal developmental stages when we start realizing we have messy, uncomfortable feelings and no internal rubbish bin. So what do? We throw those feelings at someone else. Because if I can't handle my guilt, rage, lust, jealousy, maybe you can wear it instead. Let's run through some everyday projection hits that everyone's done. Oh, you're in a bad mood. Translation: I'm irritable and I need it to be your fault. You're just jealous. The person saying it absolutely seething with insecurity. They think they're better than everyone. Said only by people who subconsciously want to feel superior but feel threatened instead. Oh, that fella, he's obsessed with money. Spoken by someone quietly chasing status while pretending they're above it. You clearly have trust issues, uttered mid-argument by the person who checks your phone when you're in the shower. You just don't care about anyone but yourself, do you? Usually yelled by the person who didn't ask how your day was. Why are you so defensive? The ultimate move made by someone deeply defended and projecting their internal war onto you. I know what you're really thinking. No, you don't, Karen. You're projecting your own subconscious mind onto someone else's silence. I bet she only got that job because she's pretty, said by someone who's terrified they're not enough and looking for a reason to feel safe. I could never cheat. I hate cheaters. Definitely noted. This one has a 78% hit rate in couples therapy. Then we have subtle self-projections that are usually very unconscious. Avoiding someone because they probably don't like me. They haven't said a word. You're projecting your own self-rejection. Or telling your partner, you're going to leave me one day. Might be true, but also might be you projecting your own desire to leave, not wanting to be the bad guy. Getting annoyed when someone's confident. Often projection of your own unexpressed power. It grates because it reflects what you've disowned. Or assuming someone is judging your parenting. You're actually judging yourself. They're just trying to get through Tesco after a long, tough day. Calling people too sensitive while you stew for days after a tiny comment. Welcome to the projection paradox. And then we have projection in relationships. Oh, you're going to cheat on me, aren't you? Well, he's either cheated before or he's emotionally straying now and his guilt is crawling under his skin. Oh, you're so needy, from the one who melts down if you don't text back in 10 minutes. Spoiler, that's their inner child doing the talking. You're trying to control me, usually said by someone who's rigid, anxious, and emotionally unavailable and resents you for wanting connection they can't handle. Or you're too emotional, or you're too much. Translation: I'm afraid of my own emotions, so yours make me want to run. You only care about yourself. A classic comeback when they don't feel prioritized but haven't done anything to nurture the relationship either. And again, I know you're going to leave me. Deep abandonment wound incoming. definitely used to pre-justify their own sabotage or their own withdrawal. Or you're always so critical, spoken by someone with an internal drill sergeant who now sees their own harshness in your reasonable request for help. The friend who says to you, "Oh, that guy, he made me feel insecure." No, sweetheart, he didn't make you. He triggered a wound that was already there. You filled in the blanks with fear and called it truth. That's not insight, that's projection. Or perhaps a girl who calls every guy a narcissist. 3 dates in and she's posting TikToks about trauma bonds. He just asked if she wanted pizza or Chinese. She's not being gaslit. She's hallucinating patterns to avoid intimacy. Why? Because real connection would mean real risk, and projection feels safer. Then we have the guy who thinks you're flirting when you're just existing. She smiled, she was very friendly, she was exceptionally kind, and now this guy has decided that she wants him. That's not confidence, that's libidinal projection with a side of fantasy. And when she says, "I'm not interested," he calls her stuck up. Essentially, he projected his desire, got rejected, and now he's ashamed. Or a guy who calls you emotionally distant while stonewalling. He says you're shut down, cold, and meanwhile he hasn't made eye contact in 36 hours and thinks feelings are a virus. He's not describing you, he's outsourcing his emotional void like a spiritual Uber Eats order. Or the guy who says you're too much while love bombing you. He overwhelmed you, messaged constantly, then panicked and withdrew. Now you're way too intense for him. Classic projection. He flooded the field, couldn't handle the intimacy, and now slaps the label on you to feel safe. So why should you care about this? Because projection makes you kinda stupid. It blinds you to reality, you miss red flags, you invent green ones, you chase ghosts, and you push away love, and fall in love with your own wounded template. And worst of all, you call it intuition. Then we have projection at work. They're just sucking up to management set by someone who wishes they had the confidence to self-advocate, but would rather mock than try. So remember, projection is not a performance review, it's a mirror. Then the boss has it in for me. Sometimes true, but often a projection of inner doubt or unresolved parental authority stuff. They think they're smarter than everyone, said after someone dares speak with clarity, confidence, or God forbid, original thought. No one here appreciates me. Possibly valid. Also possibly projecting self-abandonment, not asking for support, not setting boundaries, and then resenting everyone else. She's always trying to make me look bad. Sometimes projection of your own fear of inadequacy, or worse, a hidden competitive instinct you're ashamed to own. Or this one, he only got promoted because he's a yes man. Yes, it could be true. Also, could be you projecting your own risk aversion and people pleasing has kept you stuck. I can't stand drama, I just stay out of it. Always said by someone in the middle of it. So how to know if you're projecting? Okay, you're feeling emotionally inflamed and the facts are kind of fuzzy. If you feel very certain someone's hurting you, but your proof is mostly vibes, tone, and I just feel it, pause. That's often projection in action. Emotional certainty without clear evidence is a hallmark sign you've slipped into your own past and are now reacting to someone as if they were the villain who hurt you before. Or if you're making sweeping accusations rather than observations, you always, you never, you only care about, basically you statements. These are rarely data points, they're usually discarded feelings you didn't know what to do with. If your accusations sound like a monologue from a bad breakup, you're likely painting someone with the brush you've been too afraid to turn inward. Or you keep having the same dynamic with different people. If every boss is a bully, every partner is a narcissist, every friend is disloyal, the only constant is you. That's not victim blaming, that's victim waking. Projection builds patterns that feel familiar because you keep assigning roles from your unresolved emotional playbook, the stage changes, but the cast doesn't. So how to handle it when someone projects onto you without losing your shit? Number one, definitely don't defend. Ask for clarification, just question. When someone accuses you of something that feels wildly off, your instinct will be to correct them and over-explain. Don't. Just calmly say, that doesn't sound like me. Can you tell me more about what that brings up for you? This stops the projection dead in its tracks and often reveals their deeper wound without you taking the bait. 2. Know when to take several steps back. If they double down, rewrite history, or insist on making you their emotional scapegoat, walk away. Run. Emotionally or physically, boundaries are the antidote to projection. You're not obligated to be someone else's mirror, bin, or punching bag. Let them keep their own baggage. You've got enough of your own to carry with style. So projection doesn't make you wise. It makes you reactive, blind, and wildly confident about all the wrong things. You don't see people clearly. You see your past in their face and call it a gut feeling. That's not intuition. That's unprocessed pain playing dress up. Projection turns your trauma into a kind of telescope and then hands it to you backwards. You chase what's not there, run from what is, and call it knowing. Trust me, it's not knowing. You're not reading the moment, you're rereading the past. Every misstep feels like fate because your wounds are writing the script. Real intuition speaks in stillness. Projection, it screams over silence. So projection is the act of scribbling your old pain onto someone else's face and punishing them for not becoming the villain you cast. So Freud made you do it, I just made you own it. If you've just realised you might be the unreliable narrator of your own dating life, welcome. Next time, denial, the gateway drug to every bad decision you ever made. The material in this episode is for psychoeducational and reflective purposes only. It doesn't constitute clinical advice, diagnosis, or a recommendation for anything. Only you know your truth. This podcast is for entertainment purposes. It exists to help you meet yourself with honesty, courage, and care. If you're in crisis or navigating significant decisions, please speak with a trusted mental health professional. Every soul path is sacred, and remember, you're the expert in your own life. Thanks for listening. This is Soul Path Alchemy. I'm Annie O'Brien. Have a really great day.